8 o'clock is struck-ish, give or take 30 seconds. Well, let's see, it is Wednesday, November the 12th, 2025. Hope everyone is having a good midweek point. I know I sure have got a lot to talk about in regards to that because it's been a very good week as the podcast continue to grow every day consistently. And first thing I want to show you is okay. Now this is like uh, a life hack I needed, a practical thing that I 3D printed. If you do not have a 3D printer, you should seriously consider getting one, no matter who you are, where you are, what you are, because these things, I mean, they're fun. You can do fun stuff, silly stuff. Oh, that was a stand, not the thing. Anyway, like this little weird fellow here, isn't he fun? Hello, world. See if I can't get him to focus up. Anyways, a little mini. It all printed at one time in place, which is fascinating if you've never seen this stuff. But it's great. His little mouth works. Ah, it's Wednesday, and I'm out of focus. Good Lord, I need more coffee. I'm sitting down. Okay. Anyway, you can do practical things too, like this desktop calendar, because I'm notorious for having a note, but this little booger is so cool because, again, it's like it's a flippy. Oh, we're in the future. Now we're back. In the future. Now we're back. So really kind of cool. So anyway, Wednesday, November the 12th. So I can look right there and keep up with that. But yeah, last night, the big thing that was going on were the solar lights or the northern lights. They are solar, I guess. But anyway, the northern lights. And it was cool. Facebook was blowing up with all the cool pictures of the red skies. Now I kind of remember back being a Gen Xer that like when Prince was singing about the sky being all purple, people standing everywhere. Yeah, we're going to party like it was 1999. Well, now it's 2025 and the northern lights are in the southern skies. And we need more questions, right? I mean, come on, man. The conspiracies aren't fun anymore because they're all in the mainstream. Everything that we tinfoil hat wearing lovers of oddities, what are we going to do? Can't do much. You guys are all talking about all you normies out there. Can't have nothing. But now, seriously, look, I wanted to kind of dive into this a little bit more for, okay, shooting straight to the facts on things. Now, when it comes to what's happening in the sky, is now according to the NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center, they have issued a G4, aka severe geomagnetic storm watch for today, and that's going to go through the day and into the night and probably see those lights again. And now here let's get into the weeds a little. A major solar flare, a class X51, pretty intense, erupted from the sun on the 11th of November, and then it was a fast coral mass ejection. Okay, so anyway, that's why you're seeing the northern lights in the southern skies. So they say. But the big thing, like I said, it's really cool to see. It really is. It's a very, very cool thing to see. And I dig it. I think it's really, really, really neat. Let's see. Let me make sure I got that ready. Anyway, but now the things that we got to watch out for when it comes to these things. Now, if you've ever worked inside of the satellite communications industry, and it doesn't happen, I don't know. I don't know how many people still have satellite television, but using satellites to like receive programming, like network programming into radio stations and television stations, you would have sunspot times that you'd have to kind of work around. So this really isn't anything new, but it's just very vibrant right now, especially since it's, at night. But it would disrupt the signal, and so there it would be a little glitchy. Which again, if you were broadcasting out a signal live from a satellite, it'll look a little funky for a little bit. Bigger thing was is if you were recording things to broadcast later, you would want to make an extra note if there was something you could do, or cover that up with like commercials or PSAs or something to keep the broadcast from looking all funky. So let's see. Now again, radio communications and GPSs could be impacted by this solar flare. So if you really rely on GPS like 100%, you may find yourself in a hiccup area from time to time. So be mindful of that. Then also power grid effects. Now I noticed this. I guess it was Monday morning. I noticed that like our lights were flickering just a little bit. So yeah, so that is something that is also a potentiality. And then maybe it's a good idea that some of the flights have been cut back because flights at very high latitudes may have to reroute because it's less of a direct concern for us here, but airline operations could get a ripple effect. So those are things, but at the same time, it doesn't seem to be, even though this is a G4 severe uh, solar storm, it's not enough cause to go, ah! Yeah, that's a Pee Wee Herman thing. I wouldn't even think about, ah! But yeah, so that's a real thing that is happening. The magnitude and strength, and of course, that was well, there's a little conspiracy, but it's a boring one with the Three Eye Atlas, comet, rock, alien mothership, whatever it was, to all happen at kind of like the same time. But I don't know. That's like if that was going to be the alien contact invasion, that was the most boring alien contact invasion ever. They need better writers. They just do. Because that was what? Is it it's over now? I don't know. Anyway, okay, so that's kind of the update there. Where else are we going this morning? The big topic for today that we'll continue to talk about as we go through is this is Movember. Mo with an M, not N. Movember, where it's a month to take a look at men's health and awareness because we men we are probably more notorious than most at not getting overtly concerned with our health. I can testify as at 51 soon to be 52, I never really cared that much because I, perhaps like you, were invincible and immortal. Then along came, it was 5 years ago now, and found out that that living led to type 2 diabetes. Yeah, kids, but, and again, it is what it is. But being mindful and having the month to do it, I think that's really cool if we all did it. But we're guys, so we don't ask for directions, and we know that we are much hoss and we can handle whatever gets thrown our way, right? Except for type 2 and the need to comb your hair with a hat sometimes. But that said, another thing about it that I wanted to point out is that along with your physical health is also think about your mental and emotional. Because, gentlemen, we are the alpha and we are the gatherers, the hunter gatherers, and that's what we do. And those who forgot that, well, I'm sure you're finding out kind of quickly. But yeah, so that's kind of a thing. And this actually where, and this was totally unintentional when it comes to my book, Toys or Totems. See it back there? Along with Uncle Sam. Talk about that in a minute too. But with the book is when you deep dive into yourself and really start getting mindful about thinking about why you do what you do, um, it's good to self-explore and examine because some of you may have more blocks in you than you knew. One being giving yourself permission to play. Now, that's not just talking about collectible toys or toys in general. That's kind of the spectrum of everything that we do when it comes to a hobby that's our it's important, right? You got to take a break. God built the whole thing in 7 days. Well, 6 days, and then the seventh day, he said, whew, I had to take a day off. There's kind of a lesson in that. Well, there is a big lesson, actually. 6 days, then stop. Whatever you do, stop. Take a break. Relax. Breathe in all that you have, the spoils of the war in which you're fighting every single week, right? And I would suggest taking some of that exact same mindset on a daily basis. Once you're done with your to dos that you gotta, stop. Enjoy your life. Enjoy what we're here for more so than just paying rent to stay on the planet, right? So we'll talk more about that throughout the rest of the month as Movember continues. Let's see, where else are we at here? Again, I've got notes. Why? Because I haven't tattooed this stuff on my forehead. Take a look at the headlines real quick around the area. And let's see. We'll play with it like this at first. Okay, so 72601life.com. I'm really, 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 really happy with the way the site is evolving. Because again, being a one-man production show in the multimedia space, um, I've learned to take my time. There's again men's health. Because before it was always, for me, it was a matter of get her done in a day. And I did most of the time. I would get a lot of things done in one day. But that will lead to burnout, frustration, and worse than all of that is mediocrity in your product. And that sucks. So, and it took me a long time to get to this point. Is what, and I'm not talking about like right now where you're watching the evolution of this podcast because it's trial and error on a lot of things, and I'm adapting and adjusting as we go. Makes sense to me, right? Plus, I've learned that perfection really is an absolutely terrible thing to chase because there is no such thing as perfection. Perfect ain't happening. But really, really, really good will happen, can happen. Just again, develop, know where you want to go, write that down, and then make the decision to do that. And you'll put together a system that will take you where you want to be. As for me, again, I'm going to preach this till the cows come home. I've got one product, which is my book. I have one service, which is the Evergreen content packages that I'm offering. Again, this is a select thing. I'm not just willy nilly anymore. Okay. So if we have a good fit and a good chemistry and we can work together on this stuff, we will. Otherwise, I can't, and you shouldn't. Seriously. Then, of course, when it comes to the community, and that's what 72601life.com is all about. It's my way to give back to the place where I live. And it's like it's regional and it's growing out more and more regionally to where when you live here in the 72601, aka Harrison, Arkansas, we've got so much awesome, and I'm sure the same way where you are, there's so much awesome stuff like within a 45-mile radius that you can really enjoy where you are even more. We are fortunate here, in my opinion, is like down to the south, you've got Newton County with Jasper and the Buffalo River and all of the Ozarks beauty you could ever want over there. Then let's go over to the east, and you've got Berryville, Green Forest, and Eureka Springs. Again, we've got the scenery locked around these parts, right? Um, but there you go there, and then head over to the west. You've got Yellville, Flippin, Mountain Home, and still one of the biggest claims to fame from my perspective over there is when it comes to like the Turkey Fest, Turkey Trot, and all that, and where the birth of what became the WKRP episode with the turkey drop, because that's where it originated from, and that's just awesome to me. Along with just all the other things over there, and then of course up to the north we've got Hollister and Branson that now that it's all four-lane highway all the way up, it's a short, quick drive, and it's like the to live in this area and have that as your playground, that's pretty awesome. I mean, Silver Dollar City season passes, totally worth it. And also get the cup. If you whenever you get your season pass and you get that cup that you can use all year round, totally worth the money. Totally, totally, totally. I can't stress that enough. That is not a paid endorsement. That's just a fact. So anyway, that's kind of the updates on all of that. Let's see what's happening in the headlines. Where am I at? No, there it is. Okay, coming on over to the headlines. Of course, the weather is going. We're getting back into spring, kids. So high 70, overnight low 42. Absolutely beautiful for what's going on around these parts. Also, remember, always remember that if it's going to get dicey, stay plugged in with my pal Brandon Ruley and Stormtrack 360, because if it does get dicey, which there's rumors of for this weekend, Stormtrack 360's got you covered with actual real coverage from real human beings that go beyond just an app or this old disc jockey who's just reading you a 36-hour forecast. Moving on. So, seeing what else is happening, man. Like I say, I didn't know about this one. I'd heard a little bit of buzz about that, but the Harrison Daily Times is covering this one here. It has a blurb written up on it when it comes to the fire that was out there on Prosperity Lane, North Harrison. And that was Saturday night. So if you heard sirens out there, that's what was going on. But everybody showed up, full attention. Harrison, Caps, Batavia, and Omaha fire departments kicked in to help. And so that was most certainly appreciated there. Now this one, okay. Now this headline right here, very important still because loss of life is always horrible. But to be clearing it up, if you just saw it, you need to note that it's in Bella Vista, so that's further to the west over Northwest Arkansas. No, I have not renewed my membership. Okay, well, subscriber. What is it? Are you a member of that? Or I hate paywalls. I just do. When it comes to paywalls, it just absolutely positively drives me nuts. I don't like it. But I understand you got to do what you got to do to keep the lights on in this modern era where advertising dollars are very tricky. But anyway, and then of course a lot of great things happening with Veterans Day. Well, sorry for the vertigo. But lots of great things happening with Veterans Day yesterday. Everybody really showing up to show their support and do cool stuff. What else we got going on here? Over or up in Branson's, the board alderman, Ward 1, Alex Williams, he's going for it. Seasonal shows. Now, this is a great resource right here. If you're coming to the area, or like I say, if you're coming to the area or you live here and you don't know what's going on, explorebranson.com with their events calendar here. This is pretty cool. So you've got no, stop that. But you've got this calendar of events, which is so handy. It really is. Again, I know a lot of us, we tend to like lean on like Facebook notifications and events, but it's tough. It's not, I love seeing things where they're right there, and you can peruse them as a menu. That's so cool. So, what else is going on? Eureka! They've got the Hospital Commission Workshop, CAPC Workshop again, and that's the info is coming from the city of Eureka Springs itself, which I think is awesome. Again, when you have a city that takes the time to put together resources like this to where, that's unbiased. Well, they're rooting for themselves, of course, duh, but it's not motivated by advertising sales, and on the whole, so I appreciate that a lot. I truly do. Let's see. And then, of course, 72601life.com. You can check that out. Pardon me, fighting a sneeze or holding back from. But yeah, so with that said, check it out. Every morning should be updated by 7 o'clock. Hopefully, no later than that, to where you can get a recap of what's happening. The virtual Stump. Now, this one's starting to heat up because I'm actually hitting the street today. I got a lot of people to talk to. And on this page, 72601life.com/virtual-stump, or just click the link. It's so much easier that way. But that said, here on this page, you're going to start seeing it populated by these people for the intent and purpose of you getting to know their face, as well as their name, what they're running for, and why you should vote for them. It's like this is a thing that I've done for years now. It's just kind of evolved and what it became. But it's just, I stand on this rock. No matter what else changes in this world, one thing that will not change is my firm belief and conviction that an informed community is a connected community. And we need that. We really do, because it's just so tough to keep up with what's happening. Either today, next week, or last week you found out about, well, when you find out something happened last week. This is the best I can do to try to offer something to help you out. So the virtual Stump is going to be in full swing starting today. So be sure to bookmark the page. There's also going to be like a Facebook page. I've got that set up. It's like a group thing. And I got things all blowing up on my phone. Nothing big though, just little notifications. But that's going to be there for you. Sip of coffee time. So unprofessional. No, that's just how professionalism works these days. Speaking of, let me get this opened up real quick. In my email this morning, and this was great. I genuinely loved this. Steven Pressfield, as you know, and I've got a handy dandy copy of his book right here. And this book for me was an absolute game changer, dare I say, life changer when it comes to naming something. They were all fighting. Um, that little voice in your head that tells you you can't. We all have that. It's truly a mind virus. Paul Levy has a series of books using the Native American term Huatiko, Weitko, Huatiko, the mind virus. That again, that term dates way, 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 way back. And but what it is that negative force inside of our heads. That where the hell does it come from? It's like maybe partially defense mechanism, because the brain's job. This is another thing that I picked up along the way from another book's Sean Webb and the Mind Hacking Happiness. But it was a perspective I hadn't thought about, but is so very, very true. The brain is an organ, just like your heart or your skin or your liver, your pancreas, all those parts, right? Your brain is an organ, and the purpose of this organ and its function and what happens for you is that it's the hard drive of the whole system. As we live in this three-dimensional five-sense universe, it's collecting the data and piling it up. For what purpose? To keep you alive, to keep me alive. It's where it stores the information of what hurt, what burned, and so on, right? And so with that said, that's the brain's job. The mind is different, right? The mind is where, from a certain point of view, I guess, but that's where the thoughts come from that you didn't ask for. They just happen. Think about that. And it's like, I'm not a huge fan of Eckhart Tolle, but the way he presented, the way his story started and path is, again, where do ideas come from that just show up? You're sitting there minding your own business, doing something totally different, and then there's something that just happened, an idea that you weren't thinking about, may not have any knowledge of whatsoever. Personally, I find that serendipitous. And that's like, oh, yeah, why didn't I think of that? And then it takes you on an adventure if you follow it. It's that still soft voice. That's what I believe. So, that said, with Steven Pressfield, again, in his book, The War of Art, I cannot recommend this enough for every single human being out there, not just if you're an artist or creative, although you actually are, because it doesn't matter if you are a plumber, a welder, working in fast food, working in retail, wherever you're working is secondary to who you are. Because inside of you, again, I'll say it over and over and over, is a spark that is absolutely connected to the divine because it's from the divine and it's what animates us and makes us do what we do, more so than the organs of the body, which age and break. But your soul doesn't. Stand on that rock forever until I'm not standing anymore because everything broke. But that said, when you can name something, it makes it so much easier to deal with. Now let me come back over here. I'll share the screen with you now. So Pressfield does have a newsletter you can sign up for totally for free, but I recommend the book so much. But now, right here, this is pretty cool. If you go to StevenPressfield.com and you can check out his every Wednesday, he puts out something new for his Writing Wednesdays. And he tells the story here of ads to go. And he was in LA, decided he was going to be a scriptwriter. He was going to write movies, man. That's what he was going to do. And he did, as a matter of fact. Well, about that. But anyway, but so he did what he didn't want to do as far as like he had done, worked for advertising agencies and things like that, put together campaigns and played the role, played the game to use his skills and talents to convince you to buy things that you probably don't need, but you want it so you can make everybody else go, wow, look at what he's got. I need that too. Um, the game, right? Well, see, and I read that's another thing about when it comes to Pressfield's work of the War of Art. I so resonate with it, but I know I'm not special to that. The book has sold millions of copies at this point, and I recommend it to everyone. So hopefully, millions more will sell because it is so impactful. But looking at that and thinking about everything that I got going on in my world, I love that parallel and I want to always recommend Steven Pressfield as much as I can. But as far as like what's or Steven Pressfield, who is that, Jim? Steven Pressfield is actually the author that became the movie, The Legend of Bagger Vance. That one is still like one of the last big ones I think everybody can know the name of. And that was the one with Will Smith and Matt Damon before Will started slapping people and Matt Damon was still just Matt Damon. But yeah, it's again StevenPressfield.com. Check it out. But again, it's so cool, and the message inside of there, of course, is once you've got your decision made of what you're going and want to do, or you go beyond going and wanting, you made the decision to um, do what you got to do to get there, and that can include doing things you don't want to do. Truth be told, when I picked up a camera, a video camera, all those years ago now, I never wanted to do television. Never, 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 never. I was perfectly happy and content doing radio because radio was awesome, because radio was fun. You didn't even have to comb your hair with a hat if you didn't want to. It was just fun. I love the theater of the mind. Like I plugged into Sirius XM Radio's channel 148, I believe, as Radio Classics. It's the old radio back in the day where there was radio dramas, and I love that stuff. I find the acting to be better than, I mean, just the acting itself being better than the early television that came after that, right? Very, very good. The voice actors are just phenomenal. And then for me to know how they produce them as far as being on a stage in front of a live audience with an ADR guy over here doing the sound effects live and in real time. There's musicians down in an orchestral pit playing the vamps from point A to point B to show the scene or to visualize the scene transitions. But all of it went off without a hitch live. That is huge. Oh my God. Getting through a podcast with without an and an ah and not goofing something up is hard enough, right? But to know the way that was orchestrated. I mean, imagine you're on a film set for television or a movie, whatever. And you're on a set. If you've ever been on a set once, you know that it's a lot of start and stop, redo, start, stop, redo. These folks didn't do that. This was live, real time, man. And they were going, and everything had to hit for the illusion to work. To send that audio signal out through the airwaves into your ear hole, where your theater of the mind would put together the pictures that really shape the story. Don't you love that? I love that. I really, really do. So anyway, and I say all of that again to just encourage you to whatever it is that you do in a day that if you're miserable in what you're doing, keep doing it because you have to. Okay. Until you you figure out what it is you would prefer to do. This is like that trap of being passionate. Follow your passion. No. No, no, no. Because the way that was presented to people, especially in the mid to late 90s and going into the aughts and where we are today, to follow your passion can wreck you. Okay. You've got to have a system and a strategy in place to where that passion that drives you for the thing you want to be, yes, that's good, but don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. I've done that and screwed up terribly. I've done it with following bad advice. And the thing is, though, still on me because I'm the one who made the choice and I made the decision to do it. And it was stupid. I could give you particulars, but not right now. I'll save it for another book. But nope, 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 nope. Don't recommend it. Anyway, speaking of the book, because again, I got one product, one service, and then a community to serve. And so we're going to go through that step by step right now. Let me come back over here to my picture viewer. There you are. So, okay, last night, well, no, wait. Let me get ahead. I'm not getting ahead of myself. First and foremost, and this is absolutely gratuitous because why? I have a product to sell, but I don't want, this isn't about me, okay? It's really, really not. It is my book, and the stories in there are my stories wrapped around things that can help you better connect with the things you love. And what's great is when someone leaves a review on Amazon to say that. They get it. I didn't tell them that. They found that in themselves. That means it worked. I don't need validation. I've learned that. Don't screw validation. Validation sucks. Just do it. But then when you can get feedback like this, that is pure gold. Gold. And you get it by putting to know what you want and then put your system in place and then watch it work. Earlier in the year, I started really encouraging you all to embrace your spark, right? And there were 4 steps to it: to identify it and then nurture it. And then as you're learning and doing, you apply it and you will thrive. That's not woo woo. That is absolute fact. And I'm proving it to you. And that's the other thing about all of this is I want to prove it to you in it. Because reviews like this one from Doug H. left there on the Amazon. If you love toys, get this book. Great book if you got that lifelong passion for toys and ask yourself from time to time, why? Super thought provoking. That's the key word that I love to see. The nostalgic, well written. Thank you very much, Doug. I appreciate that. But the super thought provoking, that is like the most important thing in the world to me because that's what I wanted to do. This was my very, very, very first review on Amazon from Rosie. And Rosie, now I do know because Rosie, I put it out there that I was putting this book out, and he went to Amazon, he ordered one, and then a few days later, it's a quick read. He put this review up, and my gosh, that means so much, so much. Now there's more to the review, but go to Amazon and look. But Rosie, thank you, bud. I truly appreciate that, brother. And then over here's one that I didn't even know got left. And then when I looked, I went, "Hey, it's Lou. There's Lou." And Lou, man, just I appreciate all of this so much because again, this book, Toys or Totems, is not about me trying to change. I want to see you change your life by way of giving yourself permission to play in the world. And it's more than toys. It's whatever it is that works for you and allow yourself to relax, allow yourself to dream and use your imagination and have fun because you can. Life is for living. It's not just for paying rent to stay on the planet. Never forget that. Never. I've lost sight of that too many times, and that's why that book came to life. And I encourage it for everyone. And why? Once again, I've got the deluxe bundle going. Well, I say deluxe. It's a twofer. You get the book and the Uncle Sam figure. I've got 7 sets left right now that you can get both shipped to you for $40. The figure, the Uncle Sam, is absolutely a gorgeous figure. And it's also, you don't have to be a toy collector to appreciate it, because again, it celebrates patriotism, celebrates veterans. It celebrates the red, white, and blue that we Americans should totally be proud of, because what we have done here in the West and in America specifically, the United States of, no matter what the boxes are telling you that we have to fight, fight, fight in the wrong way. Yes, fight, fight, fight for what we should be doing, and that is be the best American you can be. Because I grew up with that mentality. The mentality is that now people go all nutty with the exceptionalism aspect, and in some ways, the United States is very exceptional. We ain't perfect, not by a long shot, but our core ideals that the country was founded on and that was embedded into us, they're good because we're doing it for others. We're helping others to embrace freedom of speech, to embrace life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That's pretty cool, man. A lot of places don't. I can go off on a different thing, but salute to Poland, who just celebrated their Independence Day. And if you want to see a nation that gets behind their country and their national pride, Poland is the one. My buddy Alex was sending me some photos and videos from over there, from Warsaw during the celebration. Wow. Which is a segue into a possibility with the Northern Lights. Because again, look it up, what was happening with the Polish Independence Day celebrations, because they used like red flares and candles and everything. And there's just this giant red glow going on at their it's not it's like people are gathered up, but it's not a protest, it's a celebration. But here in America, when you see something like that, lots of fire, red glowing things, and a bunch of people, somebody's burning something down. Not there though. Nope, 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 nope. They're celebrating, and it's just a big, huge red glow, which brings us back to here locally, where everybody's talking about what was happening in the skies last night. And there was some really cool shots put out there. Everybody kind of had the same shot because it was the same sky, but everybody had their own. And it was funny because some of the ones, the ones that got me is when you would see the glowing red sky, and the glowing red sky was there, and they were like getting a silhouette of a house, and a lot of the houses around here are like older architecture style, so it looked like the cover of like the Amityville horror VHS box. Is what it is, but it's spooky. But anyway, but it was really cool, and I'm glad everybody's really enjoying, because it is really cool to see things in the sky that you don't normally see. Now, that said, let's talk about some of the other things that we're seeing in the sky. Let's just go straight to this one. And what is that? Look at there. What are these things? These little squiggly things. What? What? Now, this image, I don't want to misquote. I think this, because there was a lot of folks sharing a lot of pictures that look just like this. So, but I do believe this particular picture came from my lovely, wonderful, and incredible mother-in-law that she took herself. Now, squiggly lines, and it was funny because I made Alicia mad because she said, "What is this?" And I'm like, bugs. I was just being mean. But when you come in on them and you look at these see, this is the thing that tells you. And again, as a guy who's went down the shadows to investigate the paranormal and supernatural and weird stuff, I met lots of crazy. I've seen lots of things that can be easily explained. But when you come over here and you see the squigglies, not the traditional orbs or dust collected as ore, that little balls of dust. But now here, okay, little thing for you. Now, this is all the rage. Everybody is a paranormal expert now, thanks to 3 billion shows on the streaming services and YouTube videos. There's some good stuff out there. I'm not just being mean. But here's the thing: the difference by the experiences that I've had. Yeah, I'll say it like that. The experiences that I've had and evidence that I have collected, when it comes to the difference and what to look for when you're seeing an orb and you take a picture of an orb, the thing to look for to distinguish it between something weird and anomalous versus dust is the shape. The shape of what I personally would classify as a true orb, still don't know what it is. I'm not going to say that's the disembodied soul of a human being or a cat or a dog. Don't know, have no clue. But I do know that that is a real thing. Okay. But the thing is, look at the shape. A true orb in paranormal photography is going to be perfectly round. If it's dust, it will not be. It will be a little bit more, well, it won't be symmetrical. There'll be like little jaggy thingies. It'll look like a rock more so than a perfect sphere. That's the thing to look out for. There you go. And also straight lines. If you see a straight line, a streaking orb type thing, and it's a straight line in video, you got a better probability of it being something more anomalous than just a bug coming into your view. Because if it's going all erratic and crazy, um, that's dust or a bug. That's it. I can stand on that easy. But now let's talk about this. These little squigglies, again. Now the thing is there's some like solid line forms going on here, right? And these solid line forms, but they're streaky, or are they? Because they're very concentrated, very super concentrated, and different colors. Let's go back to the other one. Now here, it's these are, but again, these I would consider that they could be bugs, right? Something like that. Other than, now I will play devil's advocate on everything. It's how I roll. So, but there were a lot of people who took pictures like this. Okay. Now I'm going to go into a possibility that since so many people were taking pictures of these with basically the same type devices, as far as like the phones on our mini boxes here, that the cameras and technology and lenses and all that inside of there could be reacting to the true phenomenon and anomaly that is the solar flares and radiation that is turning the sky red, purple, right? So that could be it. It could be something inside of the technology itself that generates that particular response. Very strong possibility of that. Do I know that for certain? No, I don't. But again, when I see the like, I don't know if Alicia cropped in on this or if this was a different picture altogether. Um, but looking, I mean, it's just strange, man. Very strange. But we also live in a world where strange is mainstream now. And everybody and their brother has a microphone, camera, and transmitter. So you never know what you're going to get. But I can verify those pictures are 100% real. I know I have that chain of custody. That's the term. The chain of custody of those images. And they came from sources that I personally know. So I can speak to that. And I will. So I did. So, but it's interesting. And so, but again, the solar storm, the G4, that means severe, G4 storm is still ongoing. I'll be going into tonight, and I didn't see exactly how long, but this one being such a biggie and severe, it very well could last for a while, like meaning a couple days. And again, the biggest thing is to watch out for satellite and GPS disruptions and things like that. You shouldn't have any issues of walking outside and getting electrocuted or melting. You shouldn't have any issues like that. So anyway, all that is very interesting. What are your thoughts? What do you think those little squealy, squirgly things are? I'd love to know. I would love to know. Now let's see, where else are we here on today's show? Okay, so we talked about that. The book, again, thank you to everyone who has taken the time to leave a review on Amazon. I appreciate that so much because again, I have a very the destination I'm going with that is I want 11,000 copies in the hands, either physically or digitally, around the world. And the only way that can happen is if I tell you and hopefully encourage you to tell others. Then it works. That's how it works these days. That is the whole shebang when it comes to advertising, marketing, and promotion. It's still word of mouth. Now, I was part of the camp in the broadcast world to where, well, but you got to have, and spend this much money. Yeah, that helps. But the truth is, if it's not a good product, it won't matter. If it's not a good service, it won't matter. You can do a giant advertising blitz, run a schedule stuff that hits 5 times an hour so everybody knows your name. But if the delivery sucks, guess what? The delivery sucks. And people won't care. And then that word of mouth will spread. That's also why, when it comes to the Evergreen content package that I put together as a service, also some training, but as a service, is I have a questionnaire that we will go through before we agree to do anything together. Because if we're not on the same page in that, and what the end goal is in creating something that has legs, that speaks to your existing base, that in turn will show new customers that who you are and what you do and why you care, right? And why they should seriously consider. But the best part is, this is I see this as like a wonderful tool for the toolbox of word of mouth, because everyone, you, me, everyone, has access to and utilizes the biggest broadcast tower in history forever. That is social media, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or X or Rumble or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You got tons and tons of airwaves, we'll say. And I just want to do my part to help save you time in creating stuff that has legs, that celebrates the people who are already celebrating you. And in turn, new people will see you being celebrated by people that they know are awesome. So you must be too. So it's all about. If you're interested in working with me on that, you can reach out and we'll talk and see if we're a good fit. Again, another big shout out to everyone who's been participating in the book deal, because this is cool. Because again, the Uncle Sam figure and the book package, $40 shipped anywhere contiguous United States, and maybe other places too. I don't know. I got to look at shipping. Is just so stupid now. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But I'm more than willing to include that shipping cost, because number one, I think that Uncle Sam is a beautiful piece. Look at this. I mean, really, it's like 2002 is when a fellow by the name of Charlie Flatt formed his Be Natural Toys, and the craftsmanship inside of this thing is just amazing. He shouldn't point, but that's what his gimmick is, so he points. But just the craftsmanship is fantastic. And to me, now you could always do a whatnot dust collector on the shelf, and those are great. Artwork is fine, so on and so forth. However, they're boring because they're stuck there forever like that. And if you like something that could be stuck there forever like that, it's for you. But if you like to be able to like adjust your statue, it's one of the reasons that I like the action figure stuff, because when I put it up, it can just I can move it and give it a different emotion to express or to elicit in myself. That's why I do it. One of the reasons why. So you can learn more about you in that too when it comes to Toys or Totems, because you can get the book with the figure. Again, $40. You can buy them individually. Of course, I would not tell you no, but I only have just a few of them to talk about. It's funny, I just now saw on the Facebook, because I'm trying not to look at that right now. We'll do comments at the end. But saw that my pal Heather Johnson had a birthday on November 9th, and Facebook was telling me, because I didn't say it on the Facebook. I try not to do that anymore. I used to be one of those people who like would religiously every morning say happy birthday to everybody that Facebook told me was their birthday. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's nice. It's nice for people to tell you happy birthday. And I like it. I think it's a great salutation. It makes people feel good that they're, that they're there and you appreciate them being there. And they made another trip around the sun. I dig that. I like it a lot. But the obligation and guilt that they put on you to do that is actually programming, to get you actually programmed into a cycle to where they ensure that you're there every day, at least to do that and engage on their platform. Yeah, that's its purpose. Its purpose was to train you to do and use what they have. Feel like a sucker like I did and do? Yeah. That's okay though. Now you know. And now you could just, when you see it, you know what you should do? When you see a Facebook, hey, it's their birthday, call them. Hey, Heather, happy birthday. Ta-da! Uncle Johnny, happy birthday. Ta-da! And, or go by and see him if they're close enough. Now, that's one thing about Facebook that is cool, and social media, is when you do have friends and family all over the country and the world, it's easier to stay connected. I mean, I got to give it to Facebook. If not for actually predating Facebook, websites and forums where you could connect with people from all over the world and friendships were born. And then, of course, it migrated. Most of them all migrated over to Facebook. Um, but I know people now all around the world that I can call a friend because we've developed relationships over decades now. That's pretty damn cool. I mean, it really is. The that shadow side of it is where when you see that it get that information and data gets used against you, and that sucks. And that's the downside of it. If they weren't so, but everybody's got to make a living, and if the algorithm gods can put together something that will give you a better bang for your buck and reaching the customers, the fans that want something like you have, it opens the door. It does. But boy, it was so shifty and shady because they didn't tell you that's what they were doing to all of us. Also, we were programming the AI systems. That's what algorithms are. They collected data, and now they just figured out a good way to give it artificial intelligence because it ain't intelligence. Don't forget that. Just like the government being shut down. No, 43 days now. These chuckleheads have been on strike. They're on strike. But anyway, but I digress. Social media is a good thing if used properly. Be careful. Be careful, and know that not everyone has your mindset and using it for good. Some people are horrid. I was watching a video talking about some of the bot farms and the way those things are set up with burner phones, and you're talking about tens of thousands of these things in one room that look and putting stuff out that looks like real people. And that's why this format here, this style, this video podcast is so huge right now because you get to see eyeball to eyeball the ones you hope to be human beings. This is why I'm getting. I've always kind of done it, but now I'm being even more mindful about doing the use of my hands and stuffs, and you see me move because in that, as of this point, the video generators and avatar generators can't do that. They can't be this spur of the moment fluid and being a human. They can't do it. So, and that's what to look for. If you see anything that's just kind of standing, but they're getting better about turning now, as far as what looks like a live video, um, and that's spooky. And then, of course, the ones that can generate the images of long gone celebrities, like the ones with Michael Jackson or Freddie Mercury, Mr. Rogers, bruh, Tupac, all those, right? They look, it's like if you didn't know, you could think that was a video from once upon a time ago. But wait, what do you say? What they're interacting? That's impossible. And it's spooky. But the best thing is when it looks absurd, that's a great tell. It's just being used for comedy and satire. Knock yourself out. Um, sure. I mean, I don't have any beef with it. I'm not going to say that at all. It's like it's interesting. It's fun. It's like a weird thing to observe happening, but it's spooky in a lot of ways, and it can be totally, totally, totally manipulative. Because again, for what you can do for fun and merriment, can also be turned the other way. Because anytime you see anything that comes out, verify it 10 times. Verify it 10 times. You have to now because it is so tricky. Let's see. I got to get going. This is a long one. We really pushed it because again, 30 minutes to an hour is all I'm going for with this. I want to wake up, say hi, see how you're doing. Encourage you to do more because you can, that you want to. Cut away the stuff you don't need to. It's important. So we've done all of that. Going to be out on the streets today, and as such, I want to remind you this is an ongoing promotion from now until I stop. And that is, I'm on the search and the hunt and the look for purple cows in the communities around us. What are purple cows? They're the things that are remarkable. We're talking about interesting, made me go, wow, that's kind of neat. Like the microwave popcorn I found at Apple Tree Mall in Branson, where it's looks like a corn on the cob, an ear of corn, but it's microwave popcorn, and you put the thing in the bag and you pop it. And frankly, it was not very good. It was very dry. You wouldn't think so with all the waxy butter oil stuff that holds the thing together. It was very dry. I wouldn't necessarily, unless you like dry popcorn. If you like dry popcorn, you're gonna have some fun. But the bigger thing is, I still consider it a purple cow. Why? Because it got my attention and it was neat and different because they put a spin on the mundane. I like that a lot. So I'm always on the hunt for it. And if I see it, I want to talk about you just because. Um, and then also, if you, the wonderful viewer out there, you say, hey, Jim, I want a purple cow. I'll have one in my pocket every day. Ask me for it. I'll give it to you because I'm hoping it will help you stay motivated to be remarkable yourself because you are. That's not woo woo. That's not fluff. That's not pandering. It's just true. I know every single one of us have that spark inside of us that does make us unique, and does give you the opportunity to truly live life to its fullest, no matter what your station is. Because every definition of, say, rich, successful, happy, healthy, they all they're all defined differently by different people because we're all unique. For me, I'll break it down for you. To be rich in Jim's world, it's just to be completely debt free, to have no mortgage, to have no car payment, none of that. But then also to have all of the things that are the rent payments to stay on the planet covered for at least a year in advance every year. January 1 come, pay up the whole damn year. That's a freedom that is true freedom inside of society. If you can be out of debt and everything else is taken care of where you don't have to work for it, I've been working at that hard. Not there yet, but guess what? I will be. How do I know this? Because I'm showing up every day thanks to you showing up with me. And if you don't, that's okay. I'm not judging you. You got things to do. I get it. But you can watch this other times and bits and pieces that I'm starting to cut up and put out there. But got a big day. I hope you do too. I want you to have some fun. Don't forget, the book is available until they're gone. I got 7 sets left of the Uncle Sam and the Toys R Totems book set for $40 shipped anywhere in the US. And then you can also get them individually. The figure individually is 25 and the book is 20. You can get the digital version on Amazon for the Kindle for $9.99, or if you have Prime, you can get free shipping there too at $19.99 for the book. Or there's one more option. Well, there's other options, actually. I'm going with this baby. You can't sell 11,000 books by sitting still with one place. No. You can, on my website, jimbumgardner.com and towardsyourtotems.com, you can order the book that way and you can get it directly from me, and I'll send it to you. And then also, you can go to 3 physical locations, 2 here regionally, and 1 over in Kentucky because my buddy Tom, who I talk about in the book, is a damn good friend and brother from another mother. But anyway, locally, go to Lovejoy Collectibles, just literally just north of the Harrison city limits. And Keith and Christy have a great store with a lot of great vendors who have a lot of great things. And one of those things, my book, go get it. And also Apple Tree Mall in Branson on Highway 76, historic Highway 76, Music Row, baby. Um, Go on up there. And Miss Becky has been so generous to put it into her booth where if you like dolls, you will love the stuff Miss Becky has to offer. And then also, and I want to pull this up today because this has been driving me nuts, that I have got to beat this into my brain because it's important. But on the Facebook, and I will share the link here in a little bit. But on the Facebook, go to South Louisville Antique and Toy Mall because, again, my brother from another mother, Tom King, has a booth in there with some of the most awesome action figures from the past 10, 20, 30 years and beyond, that he has available there for you, along with a physical copy of my book. So if you are in Kentucky or going through the Kentucky area and you happen to be in South Louisville at 4150-8 East Blue Lick Road, I want to go there just for the name alone. East Blue Lick Road in Louisville. You're going to find the folks at South Louisville Antique Toy and Mall with really awesome stuff, as well as my book. I like that a lot. And it's cool. And I am building out this retail network still, nice and steady. Nice and steady. So if you would like to find out about a wholesale opportunity to carry the book where you are, um, reach out to me because I'd be more than glad to see what we can do and make it to where it's advantageous for both. Because I love the idea of being able to be nationwide in a completely organic way because that's fun. My mission, what is that? Say it with me now. We are encouraging and embracing our sparks to do what? That is correct. We are enhancing organic creativity and connection in the age of artificial intelligence and social media because that's how we're going to keep getting more and more awesome. This was fun this morning, guys. Wednesday, November the 12th, thanks to my handy 3D printed desk calendar. I love that thing. I really do. I love the minds that are out there inside of that 3D printing world because these modelers and designers that are just me and you, man, um, are doing some great stuff. Really, truly, and encourages you and your children and your grandchildren and your grandparents to do stuff that you truly can. The technology's here. Do it. I'm gonna shut up. I got things to do, and we are at 8:55. Good Lord, Jim, you talking too much. And I ain't got to worry about hitting the top of the hour because I'm not that rigid. Anyway, everybody, let's put up that final end screen so we can stop the broadcast in a nice, clean way. And you're